Hey guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back, and welcome to my migration video. So I realize that this video is a little earlier than most people's, but I have 6 pages left in my Archer and Olive notebook, so June just had to start a brand new journal. So at the request of a subscriber, I'm trying out the Maisie Lane bullet journals, and so far I love the customization of being able to add my name to the cover. Just think that is incredible. The one thing I would change if I ordered this notebook again would definitely be the color that I decided for the text. I wish I would have gone with the gold to match the detailing, but if I order from there again, then I'll keep that in mind. And if you're thinking about ordering one from there, take this as an example. This is what the black looks like on the bullet journal. It looks gorgeous still, like it's really nice, but I just think that I should have gone with the gold for my personal taste, so just keep that in mind. So far the paper quality is great, and I believe this bullet journal actually has more pages than the Archer and Olive bullet journal, which is necessary because obviously I only made it to May in my Archer and Olive, so I need this bullet journal to last me until December, so wish me luck. So the page that I'm working on as of right now is not new to anybody. This is the future log. I don't do the year at a glance anymore because even though I did flip back to it, like, you know, a couple times during the year to like check out the calendars. I'm like, I don't really need it. Like, it's not super necessary, super pretty, but just not super necessary. So I just decided to do what I did in my old bullet journal and just do this layout because it works as far as having enough space for the important dates and being able to see the calendar. So it's just a 2-in-1 and it saves me 2 full pages. So this was just the best way to go for me. So I'm always excited to start a new bullet journal because it's just a chance to just really completely start over and change up anything that wasn't working. So you'll notice that this time around I have way less pages in the front of my bullet journal than I did in my last migration because I decided to just take the stuff that I actually used and move it, and the stuff that I didn't really feel was necessary, I didn't bring it over. And yes, I did mess up on one of the calendars. You know, it's one of those things that happens. I feel like if I don't mess up at least once when I'm making my bullet journal, then is it really a bullet journal video? Also, if you notice like a thing like kind of like in a triangle at the edge of the screen, that is my phone. I will move it later. I did not realize that you could actually see it in the frame, so that's totally my bad, but hopefully you guys won't be too turned off by it. You know, it's all right. So I decided to go with this brown red color for the start of the year or the start of my bullet journal, and I really love it. So here's a funny little story that really frustrated me, but it's funny now. So when I actually went to first make my migration spreads, I had a completely different cover and I had a couple different pages that I was going to try for this new bullet journal setup. I hated them, absolutely hated them. And you will notice that the front page, the first page of my bullet journal, is actually a little wonky, and that's because I ended up taping like 3 pages together, 3 spreads worth of pages together, because I just couldn't. It was bad enough that I couldn't just live with it. I had to completely do it over, and I'm glad that I did because I actually really love the way that this spread ended up coming out, and all of my spreads ended up coming out, and I'm so much happier with this than I would have been with the original. So I'm glad that I just decided, you know what, I need to do this again. All right, so moving right along to our next page. So I decided to keep my when did I last spread. I didn't realize how useful this was gonna be, but there's just certain tasks that you need to do that just come up out of nowhere, and you're trying to figure out, when was the last time I did this? Like, you know, for example, rotate your mattress. Like, you're supposed to do that, but like, when are you supposed to do that? And apparently you're supposed to do it like every 3 months or so, every 6 months, something like that. And so it's just nice to be able to see like, oh, I did this a couple months ago, like I should probably do this. So it came in really handy for my Archer and Olive. I actually used it and filled it out, and it was nice to be able to see like when I'm actually doing things. I did change up some of the categories that I had on here because again, they just weren't necessary. I didn't need them. You know, some of the things I was really good about keeping up with, and some of the things it was like nice to have a reminder. So all of the things I felt it's nice to have this reminder are the things that I kept. This is a page that I am kind of surprised that I never had in my bullet journal before. Like the thought has never even crossed my mind. But while I was on Pinterest gathering inspiration for this setup, I came across somebody's spread that was pretty similar to the way that I set mine up, and loved it so much that I was like, I have to try this in my own bullet journal because it's pretty like genius. So I didn't use too much color. I mean, I stuck with my color of the year, I guess, or, you know, half the year, whatever. And I also used some of these stickers from, if you guys have been around for a long time, you will know that I actually had this theme back in August, my first ever bullet journal video. And I knew that I wanted to add something to these spreads, but I didn't want to like go through and create all new pictures because, I mean, all new stickers, because I was kind of on a time crunch and I had to get this done. So I was like, okay, I need something to bring more interest because I don't think the color is interesting enough. And but I was like, I don't want to create anything new, so I have to just go through, you know. And this is why you keep your old stickers, because you just never know when they're gonna come in handy. So this came in handy, and I think it looks cute. It looks really good with the color that's already there, because it's like a brown mauve color, so it just worked out really well. And I'm glad that I found those and decided to use those because I think it really brought that page together. So at the bottom of the When Did I Last page, I re-put my word of the year. I just didn't feel like it needed its own page, so I just threw it at the bottom and did the definition for progress, and I think it came out really, really awesome, and definitely a page that I am happy to look back at throughout the year. So the spread that I'm working on now is my waiting on spread. Again, this is a new spread, sort of. I only just recently put it in my bullet journal for this year. I've never had it before, and again, just one of those spreads that is kind of like a must. Now, what I did learn is like Amazon packages come too fast for me to put them in there, and I can keep track of them on my phone. So I just decided that my waiting on spread is for anything that's not purchased on Amazon, and that's gonna take basically more than like 4 days to get to me, and that way I can keep track of like, oh, when is that supposed to come? Because there's nothing worse than forgetting that you ordered something and then it shows up and you're like, what is this, you know? So this was a quick one. This was my pictures, my year in pictures, and you guys, if you saw the flip through, you will see how it came together for the first 4 months of the year. And I was super duper happy with it. So I'm very excited to finish it in this bullet journal and actually have that spread fully completed, because that was the one thing that was kind of sad about starting a new bullet journal, is that I couldn't see my entire year in pictures. And I guess I technically could have just put the whole year in here, since I'm hopefully gonna finish the year in this bullet journal, but I figured May through the rest of the year would be totally fine. So that is what I ended up doing. Now, this page is a work in progress, or not even a work in progress. This page is a hot mess. I saw this also on Pinterest and thought it was really cute until I tried to do it. In hindsight, should have went with dots instead of, or circles instead of squares. This was a pain in my butt to do. And I really don't even think it came out looking that nice in the end. So, you know, you live and you learn, but it wasn't bad enough that I felt like I needed to like scrap the entire page. So that's the good news. But essentially, this is a bills page, and because I have bills that don't necessarily get paid every single month, I decided to make this spread to track like all of my bills, but mainly the ones that don't happen every month, because you know, it's easy to forget if you're like, oh, I have to pay this every 6 months, and it's like, oh shoot, well, when is the 6 month mark? Especially if it doesn't start on January. So yeah, it's kind of for that. But this took me a while. It really hurt my hand, and yeah, it just, It's a little bit of a fail, but I'm okay with that. But if I decide to transfer this into my bullet journal for 2022, I definitely will not do the squares again. I have learned my lesson. But yeah, I was debating whether or not to even do the spread because I do have like an expense tracker in my month to month, but I decided that, like I said, because there are bills that I don't pay every month, it was still worth it to just go ahead and just do it. And now we are on my grid spacing page. Now, I got really lucky because this bullet journal has the same amount of dots and spaces that the Art Journal Olive does, probably because they're both A5 notebooks. So it made it really easy to just take the information from my Art Journal Olive and put it in this notebook. So this spread went by like a breeze, which was really good because it also meant that drawing out my June plan with me information was even easier because I already knew everything, all the dimensions and stuff. Like I said, they're both A5 notebooks. I should have known this. You know, you're allowed to call me stupid in the comments if you want to, but for some reason, you know, not all notebooks have the same dot spacing, and sometimes they have more dots on the page than other bullet journals. So I was just really happy to know that these were similar so that I could just get through it like a breeze. And yeah, that's pretty much all of the pages that I ended up doing for this migration. You can see how that spread looks, how the bill spread looks like. I'm so sorry you had to see that up close, but this is what happens. Alright guys, so now we have come to the final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed this short but sweet little video. And I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.